Hello, I'd like to give you a quick overview of what you need to do to finish this fan kit out. It's not very difficult. If you have any troubles though, please contact me. I'll be glad to help. This is what a finished one looks like. It will be similar to this, or pretty close in box size anyway. You can see that there is simply a box with a hole cut in the top as a circle, and that's the first thing you will need to do. You'll see that you get a box here, and there is a circle pattern in the top. You need to cut that out with a knife, like what students use to cut paper with in Korea. And at the bottom there is also a cutout you'll need to make. It's a square shape along the bottom, and you can see it traced there. So cut those holes. That's the first thing you need to do. You'll see there's a little hole here already pre-cut for you to poke through your cord. You will need to take this switched cord and you will need to poke that through the hole like so, all the way through into there, okay, so that the switch is on the outside. And after cutting this hole, the next thing you'll do is you'll find a filter. You can open that up. You'll take the plastic off of the filter. Okay, remove this plastic, and you'll notice that the filter has an arrow on it on the side. That's very important. That arrow designates which way the airflow should go, and we want it to go up, so that arrow is going to be pointed in the upwards position. And you can put this in either way that you want, as long as the filter's covering the cutout all along the bottom. It can go either way. Okay. By the way, this filter is for a QM3. That's a kind of Samsung car, Samsung QM3, when you need to buy replacements. And they can be purchased off of Gmarket or auction or just about anywhere. Anyway, of course, this plastic will be taken off, but it will be then covering that hole that you cut. The next thing you would need to do is take your fan, and I have included that here, and it's probably going to be with this plastic part towards the up position, okay? That should make the airflow go the right way. That means flowing outwards and upwards. You want the air going up. If it's not, you can turn it over and set it this way, and it's no problem. It'll work just the same. But you want it blowing upwards, so the air is blowing up and out, okay? So that will be setting centered over the top of this, obviously. Now you are going to need to take that wire that we've threaded through there, and you are going to need to physically pigtail tie these ends. There are two of them, right? You'll need to tie them together here, and then the next one separately from the others here. So you're going to have two wires coming off, and I'll show you an example of it finished. And then after that, I have some electrical tape included. You'll need to wrap that all the way around and completely cover those wires safely so that they cannot touch you or anything else once plugged in. There should be tape covering the metal entirely on the wire. Okay, and then this fan will basically just set down. Its own weight holds down the filter inside. And of course, this will all be done and tied together. I have included a screen if you want. This is just kind of a fan cover. This is a pink one here. Anyway, that you can physically thread over the top of this. You can see how to do it easily when I show you the other example. I'm one-handed here holding the camera. But then I will also include for you a strap, which is just an extra strap which you can tie, or you can stretch out around kind of like a rubber band to hold this down more tightly and cleanly, just like this one is right here, okay? And anyway, and then you put the box top on over the top of that, finished, after you've cut the hole, obviously, and it's done, basically. Oh, except one thing. You have to put the feet on the bottom, and here we go. I will include some plastic feet for you. There will be 4 per fan unit, and you just stick them on the bottom, just like you can see in my example here. See how I've stuck those down there? You pull off the little sticky end and you stick them on all 4 corners, and that raises your fan up off of the ground so that air can get sucked in the bottom and then come out through the top. Okay, so let's take a look at this finished example so you can see how it looks here. And basically I have threaded that cord in there, right, in that hole in the back. Take off the top, which is cut, right? And I have this screen over the fan here, okay? My fan is blowing air upwards and outwards the way it should. And you'll note that if I turn this around, you can see where I have tied off. Oops, get it through here. I have tied off the plastic pieces, and let me show you those. There we are. Notice how I've got them separately tied off from each other so that one from the fan is going from one to the power outlet and the other one from the fan is going to the other one with the power outlet, right? Plus and minus. And actually, you can go either direction with these. It doesn't matter because it's 220 volt. And as long as you don't have them tied together, you want to keep these separate. So one black one from the fan to one of the cable or the AC powers, and then white one from the fan to the other coming from the power cable. Okay, and notice I've tightly wrapped electrical tape all the way around those safely to make sure that none of that wire is touchable in any way. Okay, and you can see how I've just set this down on the filter here, right? And that the weight of this fan is holding that filter down. Now let me lift this up. Be careful not to chop my fingers in that plastic fan. There is your filter inside, and when you want to replace it, you can just physically take it out like that, and there's the hole, see? And you will just put the new one in right over that spot and make sure you're covering up the hole you cut entirely. And then you are going to replace, let me get this guy off of here. You're going to replace your fan over the top, and the next thing you're going to do is then stretch this guy out, and I'm one-handed so I can't do it, but you're going to stretch that out over the top of that to cover that area. If you want, you really don't need to have this on if you don't like it, but I thought it's safer for little fingers anyway. And then after you put that on, you can use this extra strap I've included to basically use as a kind of rubber band all the way around to hold this down more tightly around the fan. Okay, so there you go. That's how you do it. Obviously, don't forget to put the feet on the bottom last, and then you should be able to plug it in and it should be good to go. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'll be glad to help you. And again, the filter replacements you need are 3M Filtrete, and they are the model QM3. That's the Samsung QM3 vehicle. And the part number for that is, well, I will include that for you. That number 78 is not the one that you need to look up. But make sure when you put your filter in there, let me see if I can find it here. I'll give you that number more directly. The number that you need for that is listed on the side of this, I believe. And I find it very hard to see, but I cannot quite make it out. It looks like maybe, yeah, well, I don't want to tell you the wrong number just in case. But please also note that this filter does have an arrow. You see that arrow? When you put the filter down, in case I didn't tell you already, make sure that arrow is pointed in the direction that the airflow is going. So this arrow will be pointed upwards so that the air gets sucked out up and through that filter that direction. It will work best that way. So make sure that the airflow follows that arrow when you set that down in there. Okay, there you go. If you have any questions, give me a call, and good luck.